Warning. It is the opinion of the Forestry Productions LLC and the Working Perspectives podcast that we should inform you that some of the language used in this recording could possibly be considered offensive. You have been warned, so if you decide to listen to the recording, then don't complain about the language. Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by the dub one himself, JDub Justin Richardson, and our guest today is the one and only Mike Hadfield. You can find all our content and all our stuff on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can hang out with us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast, and you can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. And just, I'm sick of asking, and you're sick of hearing it. So just like and subscribe so my wife stops shitting all over me for doing the show. Justin, you ready to get this thing going?
He is.
Can't wait. All right, well, let's get this thing started. Let's go.
It's all objective to be effective by voicing societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. Would you share it? Would you share it? Would you share it? Working perspectives.
All right, Jalen Dub, I'm going to let you tell me about this guy.
I'm gonna tell you.
All
So I'm gonna paint you a small picture here, because I don't know how many friends do you have outside of that you made after high school?
Not a ton.
5, 3, 2,
Like
Not
ones
many.
that are as close as I am.
that feel like kids you went to high school with. You make
It's-
acquaintances, you have your
Yeah.
girlfriend's husband who you go to dinner with, you like that guy,
Right,
but
right.
guys who you're like, even though we didn't go to high school together, you're like, this guy,
Right.
he's my guy. He gets it.
Your boys, we
We would have been
We-
friends. Yeah.
Had we grown up together. Yeah.
Yep. And that's rare, So
Very.
I moved out of my parents' house directly in with a female. We lived together for 6 years.
Smart.
Doesn't work out.
No.
I move in with my friends.
Right.
I'm I have a newfound life,
Sure,
My
sure.
my friends are now they have settled relationships. A couple of them
Yeah.
are having kids or getting married.
Oh, yikes.
I find this new friend group.
Love it.
They're 5 years younger than me, the kids I work with.
Ooh, still dangerous.
But they're good, They have
Right.
so when I was leaving high school, skinny pants were just entering.
Oh,
And
God.
this group of kids are those high school got wild after we left.
I heard.
Because you're only a year above me, it got much different.
Mhm.
But this is the group we would have been in if we were
Oh.
in that group, if you will.
Don't you
And
feel
so-
like you wish you were in that generation?
I see. I loved rap music. I was really into
Yeah.
white people music, and then I got
Sure.
really into rap. And in
Right.
that, when System of a Down came out, I started to get into that. And my friends
so
were
good.
none of the Eighth and Church people in the
Right.
cut. They weren't having that.
No, missing, dude. Toxicity was an incredible album.
Yeah, it's not for
Absolutely incredible.
any of them. If
No.
you were pumping that in your car, you were gonna get made fun of. And even more to the fact was that emo music came out, which I
Oh,
love,
baby.
but could
Sure.
never share with my friends.
No.
This wasn't a music I could bump down Church
Right.
Street.
You're not, no Ocean Avenue on 8th and Church.
Yeah. But these fucking kids, Cheetos, I never heard of the band Cheetos before them. It's fucking fantastic.
Sure.
So I'm experiencing new things.
Right.
I'm young again.
Right.
I'm 30, but I'm 25 again now. because
Rejuvenated.
I'm single. My friends are Gone to the Wind. I have a
Yeah.
new core,
Mhm.
and I'm hanging out with my buddy. And coming home from college in between
Yeah.
semesters
Mhm.
arrives this kid. There's a spare bedroom in my buddy's house.
Okay.
In walks tonight's guest.
Woo-hoo, baby.
Now I've been staying at this kid's house, and he's been at college, so I've been sleeping in his room.
Sure.
And like that's where I sleep now. So my buddy's like, oh, Mickey's coming home this weekend from college. Can't sleep in there. I'm like, oh shit, all right. Who's Mickey?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
love him. I meet him. He's only home for like 3 weeks for Christmas break the first time, and then he's got to go back. And
Sure.
I'm like, when's? And then like he leaves. I come back over. I'm like, when's that kid come back?
Yeah. That kid was a hit.
Yeah. And so begins a storied love affair.
Right.
Of trauma bonding and a beautiful friendship.
Love trauma bonding. Would you say it was like a low life love affair?
It is. We were up to all kinds of nonsense, and we found that like
Sure.
we had similar experiences, a mixed family, numerous parents. Neither of us have two parents. Neither of us had two parents and three brothers, and life was just normal.
Right.
And like he is he'll tell it, but like, there's a sad beauty to his like past that I find that most people don't have any idea exists. But like I heard a stat, there was 75 million kids will not get a present this previous Christmas that just happened in 2021.
Oh wow.
I was like, damn, 75 million kids.
Yikes. There's that many Jewish people.
That. So there's a whole subject of life that like you meet this kid and I'm just like, you should be much worse of a person for who you are.
Right.
Once you start learning about him, you're like, God, the credit to you. I'll take a little tip of the hat.
Yeah, how about it, man? You really could have fucking went down a dark hole, Bubba.
Nobody would have blamed you for stabbing a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I love him. I'm excited he's here. I haven't suggested anyone to be on this show, but this is my one recommendation.
Yeah. So he did come on. You were at your brother's wedding, right? And we had Billy the Baba Nichols on the show, and he jumped in to co-host. He saved your ass.
The old lost episode.
Oh, dude, the lost tapes of Atlantis. That fucking lost hour was so fucking money. I think about, dude, like, had we have aired that lost hour, we'd be fucking on Rogan next week. You know what I mean? Like, it was so fucking good. It was like full of clips, full of hits. And we just like, we saw a lot of juice going back in when we had to redo, right? But we had nowhere near the juice that we had that first fucking hour. But either way, you're saying this is your first recommendation to be on the show. So keep going.
So Mickey, I have a question for you if you're ready. Do you prefer your cheese products crunchy or puffed? Crunchy Cheetos or puffed Cheetos?
Oh, dog, they used to call me Puffy Bats, dude, and I don't call them Cheetos either. I did call cheese curls, man. Cheese curls.
Wait. You like puffs more than crunchy?
Wait.
Yeah, boy.
I told you, yo. I swear to God, I did not prep him for this.
God.
I swear to God, there has been 15 people on this fucking show ask this question, and no one but me has said puffed.
Only really poor kids like puff more, dude.
You are the first puff. That's been on this show.
It just solidifies everything I know about him.
I mean, honestly, if you didn't love him before, you love him now.
I said one day someone will come on this show and say puff.
One day. Now that today's that day.
Today's the day.
Man,
welcome to the Puff Boy Club. One kid to be on food stamps. Boom. There you go, dude. Fucking Puffy, son.
Oh man. They didn't have crunchy on food stamps?
Nah, dude, they barely had the puff. That Jones was just air, bag of cheesy air, dude. They're so good.
The Jacks?
The Jacks is the best cheese curl you can get your hands on, dude. The best.
The ball is my personal favorite, but a puff nonetheless.
If you're gonna go puff, you want to go ball, right? Yeah. Man, wow. I'm telling you, I'm floored right now. I honestly thought we were never gonna get a puffed. Honestly thought. Never gonna get a puffed.
Every week I'm like crunchy. I'm like, I'm like, well, and like some of the, you've had your jiu-jitsu guys on there, so they're like, I'm a crunchy guy. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right, I'm a puff boy. I'm a puff boy.
Right.
But I'll find another puff boy.
Right.
I gotta be real though. I do really fucks with the crunchy hots.
Oh, big.
Fire Jones.
Big.
They're very
Have you done
good.
that? Have you done the jalapeno
good.
ones too?
Very good.
Oh,
Very
the
good.
jalapeno are fucking money. So
dude.
good.
I'm not only a puff boy, I'm also not a spice boy.
Oh,
My
wow.
poop was red, dude. My poop was like for reals red, dude. I like freaked out. I called the doctor because I'm on
thought you had
Medicaid now,
blood in
dude.
your
I can
stool?
call him. Oh my God. Yeah. I called doctor. I'm like, yo, dude, I've been eating these fucking Cheetos. I usually do the puffs, dude. I'm doing the crunchies, you know, like, and apparently it's like some food diet. It's like some, I don't know, some fucking.
Do you have Keystone First? Is that your?
Nah, I chose the Aetna plan because it's better network, Jefferson.
Bravo.
Right. Dude, I'll tell you this, before I got my office job, I was bartending full time. So on my taxes, you only claim like, because they only take the electronic tips, right? So I was claiming less than $10,000 a year, right? So my wife at the time, she was working at a job where she set up Medicare for people, right? So she told me, she's like, I can get you the best fucking insurance for nothing. Right. And she set me up with the insurance, bro. Best insurance I've ever had in my life. I got everything in the best. Like, I wasn't getting knockoff shit either. I was getting the best of everything for nothing. Nothing.
I used to pay like, and I know like this isn't like fun to hear, but like an insanely high premium for an awesome insurance plan. So I thought, you know, back when I was had an amazing title and before I lost everything,
right?
I still at that point wasn't able to afford mental health care. Since my life went to shit, it's become amazing because the one thing I have is Regina, you know, and they're like, put it on the fucking charge it to the game, son. And I just pop in there, dude. It's so popping, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so lit. I'm so big. Medicare for all, dude. Screaming on the rooftops.
When you say Regina, you're speaking of your therapist, Regina. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. And
or as I like to call her, my knight in shining armor.
Sure. So Regina is your knight in shining armor. She's besides your lady, she's the most important woman in your life. And she, has saved you emotionally.
I would say that I wouldn't go that far, but I think she definitely helped. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I was down on my luck, Jackie Moon. I was bottom of the barrel, Jack, drowning. Yeah, she saved me. Regina saved me. She threw me a life raft.
Oh,
so she helped me big time.
The USS Regina came in, saved you. Love it.
Yeah,
nice.
Important to talk. It's important to talk about your feelings. It's important to say some of your dumb thoughts that go through your head all day out loud. And it's a lot more easy to like rationalize them if you just say it out loud. You're like, I want to do this, and you're like, that sounds insane when I say it out loud.
Yeah.
Not to mention the validation. You know what I mean? Like the stuff you don't get typically because it's like, grown-ups really don't get a lot of like fucking good for yous, Sure. It's cool.
Yeah. Do you ever too like replay a story in your head from like either growing up or whatever, right? And you just like think of like, God damn it, how fucking stupid I was. And then you tell the therapist that story and you're like, and then she's like, oh, you're not that stupid. That's so common. And you're like, yeah, I'm great. And then your whole life has changed, right?
All the time. Yeah. But mine's more like what she helped me with because I really did do that, like where I would kind of disassociate, if you will, but a lot of the stuff I thought about wasn't like, I wish I would have had that one back, but it was more like trauma of like stuff. I don't know why I'm thinking about it,
right.
like bad flashbacks, kind of PTSD kind of shit,
sure.
So like I would say that stuff to her and I'm like, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, like, why am I thinking about the one time? Like,
why do you get stuck on it? Right.
Right. Yeah. And then she'll be like, oh, it's because of that's going on in your life this week, So like that's more of like, a better kind of, I think, understanding of what she does for me. But yeah, she's great, dude. Nice. Also too, like you said, I'm great, dude. I signed up for it. I pay her, dude. Yeah. It's my insurance.
Step one is seeking the help, right? Like you had the courage to go out there and find it.
Tell you what, that's the hardest part. I'm not good at that. I'll just be like, I'm fine. It'll be fine. I'll be fine.
That's all men.
It's no better.
Yeah. It's a lot of male, especially Irish males, apparently, are just, you bottle it, babe. We bottle it up, guys. Let's bottle it up, right?
Yeah.
Showing emotion. What are you, a freaking stunad? Huh? What are you, students? Huh? Yeah, not happening.
I used to be like a brick wall, and now, dude,
Same.
dude, Mickey
Now you're
puddles, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
Let
like
it rip.
sensitive. I'm
Yeah.
like, what did I do? I'm asking people like, did I offend? Is everything okay? It's pretty cool, but also pretty gay. Like, I'm a gay wad. Sue me.
Yeah.
My childhood German Shepherd died when I was 14, and I don't think I cried about it until I was like 23 years old. I was at a bar one night, and somebody was talking about their dog. I was at Hat Tricks in Hatfield. Somebody was like talking about their dog, and out of nowhere, I just like started crying. I was like, I miss my dog. I didn't go to when they put her down.
Yeah, I was too busy whacking away the pain.
That was the cocaine, dude. I gotta be honest with you.
That's the first time I was like, I have feelings again.
Yeah.
Like, shall we start a business? I hate it. My dog died.
Yeah. Nice. I want to be a
being
dog
Irish-
groomer.
It'll get you.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So, okay. So speaking of past traumas and, being open, let's start at the beginning with Mickey here, shall we? So good old Mickey Batts, was born and raised in South Philadelphia, right? You lived there till you were 10. You had kind of a rough upbringing, right? Living in South Philadelphia, born and raised. You lived there till you were 10. Then you went into foster care. Then you went down to Virginia to live with the great Aunt Judy, the one love Aunt Judy. And then
Shouts out, bro.
Yep. And then you moved to Limerick, where you were taken in by a family. And that's kind of where you honed your craft, so to speak. So let's start with your early life. So you grew up South Philadelphia. What was life like down there, living in just the nice, clean Irish neighborhood of South Philadelphia?
So I was in the Italian neighborhood of South Philadelphia.
There's an Italian neighborhood down there? Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I lived in squalor, to be completely honest with you, pal.
Squatting.
It wasn't like, it was kind of like, it was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm starting to figure out with Regina is like, for so long, I always was like, I wasn't that bad, but like very bad. Like, there was, for most of my life, didn't even have utilities, filth, fucking roaches by the gazillions,
I love the, we've talked about this numerous times on our own, the Never Land concept. At one point in your life, the parents would stay on the first floor. This is a Philly row home. So, the first floor is your living room, your dining room, your kitchen. And then upstairs, you've got bathroom and 3 bedrooms.
Right.
And at some point, his parents wouldn't go upstairs. So there's 3 or 4 kids upstairs. They don't come up there. And then the adults stay downstairs, and it's never, like you're on your own.
Yeah.
Figure it out. You hungry?
Once you go upstairs, it's like, all right, well, what are we going to figure out today? Yeah.
It's the land of the lost.
So,
by.
Yeah. Led by the lost. Yeah, for sure.
And the blind, dude. I had one eye the whole time, dude. I looked like a fucking asshole Cyclops walking around there. No medical attention. That's another thing. I didn't go to the doctor, bro, until I was like 10. I never been to the doctor.
Yeah.
Once.
So, okay. So how far back can you remember? Do you have like your first memory from down there, or is it all just one big blur of trauma?
I remember it all. Like every second of it.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
It's crazy.
Okay. So are you comfortable sharing?
Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah. Kidding me?
All right.
I'm gonna this is how I'm gonna get on Oprah, son. Like,
I mean, I'm surprised you haven't been on Rosie O'Donnell at least. I mean, come on.
I know, dude.
How about it? So, okay. So go ahead. So what, you talked about living in squalor, and it was pretty rough down there. One thing I noticed about when you're poor, there is no like prejudice, right? Like your prejudice is against people with money. There's no like racial divides. There's no like hatred to men or women. It's more just like, oh, wow, you have something to offer. I don't care what your race, color, religion, creed, whatever. You like, hey, let's be friends. Like,
yeah. So that's how I was, but also too, like, the weird thing about my situation is that, like, you know, my dad was 100% Italian, like, you know, parents off the boat, you know, like everyone is very Italian. Like my grandma never
really
spoke English. Yeah. So like he had this, like, you know that like ugly Italian, like the Metagon attitude, you know, where they just think like, you know, like
if you're not Italian, you're a piece of shit. And I have a couple of reasons why.
Sure. So he did that, but he was like embarrassed that he was like a scumbag. You know what I mean? So it was like a weird dynamic. You know what I mean? Like,
he had like his own insecurities about being a scumbag.
I mean, it's just like not the Italian way. Like,
I see.
You know, filthy, and you know, like we had to stop going to like my grandma's because she'd be like, "What the fuck is going on over there?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was like just such a junkie. He became such a junkie that like none of that shit matters anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like.
Did he have like a main drug of choice? Or was it just whatever he could get his hands on?
Whatever, really, like on everything. But like he was an upper guy. He liked smoking crack, coke, meth. But also too, I saw him shooting dope many a time. You know, like he
got to come down somehow.
Taught me what a Xanax was. You know, like brought me to the doctor. He used to make up like fake lies. Bring me with him, you know, just to get some Xanax. I learned the alphabet through, and this is like a bit, but it's serious, like through drugs. Like I knew the difference between like a Percocet, a Xanax, like everything, like Prozac. I used to run medicine cabinets, like Mickey medicine cabinets. Like any friend I had, I would had to look for that, because if I score that, it's like, we eat tonight.
Okay. So like your dad would be like you're doing it for your parents in a way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So you're a great house guest at that age. They really.
Dude. I'm like
can I use your bathroom?
The best schemer of all time, dude. Like I was like Indian in the cupboard.
You've got, you know, and plus two, you're a little blonde, blue-haired, one-eyed. You have a rat tail at this time when you're.
Tell me you had a lisp too. Your people would have eaten you up. Are you kidding?
Nah, dude. I just had this fucking wildly lazy eye, son.
Shit.
This crooked boy.
All back then it's a lazy eye. You go to an optometrist, they give you an eye patch on the other eye for like a week. Your eye learns to compensate, and it's fine. It's literally a one visit fix. It's common in children. And this kid, till he's 9, nobody fucking fixes it.
I didn't even brush my teeth for 10 years. Like, fuck glasses, you know, or the eye doctor. Like,
we talked about it on a recent episode of like, what the fuck? Eye patch has been the same thing since fucking, you know, it's one fucking flap and a strap and fucking, you know.
1210, the eye patch was invented. It's 2020. If you hurt your eyeball, they give you the same eye patch today.
Yeah.
But that's how they eventually fixed it. That's all it took was. I mean, it probably happened when you were 5.
Dude, 900 AD. It was fucking... So, dude, it says here, patching therapy has the benefit of being time-tested. It has improved the vision of millions of patients with a lazy eye for thousands of years.
This kid in 1994 is running around South Philly with a fucking wonky eye.
Yeah, dude, your fucking eye could collect unemployment. It was so fucking lazy.
Dude, come on, dude. I call it the stimulus stigmatism, bro. My jaw was waiting at the mailbox, dude, all the way over here. Yeah, man. No toothbrush, no toothpaste.
Just
hopefully most of the time running water. But like, it's like I was saying, like if I had to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, you know, if I had to like go take a piss, I go into the bathroom, flip the light if we had one. And as soon as I hit that light, you know, like standard fucking South Philly bathroom, dude, like, you know, a toilet in the middle of a tub and a sink. There would be so many roaches that would scatter and try to hide around the rim that there would probably be like a 4-inch just line of roaches all in the crib, like in the bathroom. It was crazy. One time there was a breakout of roaches so bad at the crib that the fire department had to come. There was like a gazillion in our room.
What?
It was wild.
What
it's like
did the
all
fire
the eggs
department
hatched
do?
Or something. They took us all out of the house and like we had to stand on the curb and they like bombed it. And then like we had to like go and spend like one night in like a foster care, John.
Your dad
And
was
then,
like,
like-
hold on, let me get in there. Let me see if this bomb thing does anything. Yeah. Oh,
Dude,
fuck.
that dude
getting
probably-
bombed every night. Oh.
He probably never woke up, dude. He probably fucking sat there the whole time, just had no idea the fucking fire brigade was at the window. It was nuts, dude. It was
Dude,
wild.
how did they even know? I guess the neighbors called, or
It like we were screaming bloody murder. It's like I just remember waking up in the middle of the night and dude, like you could hear them flapping.
oh, fuck.
It was like the
like-
plague.
In the spring, like they had all hatched, I guess, and
Yeah.
it just became crazy in there.
Dude, it was
Oh.
wild. It was like the
Was it
fucking
hot,
end of
too?
times.
Was it
Oh,
hot?
yeah, dude,
Oh,
it's
that's
sticky.
the worst. Oh god, dude, that's legit a fucking nightmare. And you're an 8-year-old kid, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yup.
God damn, dude.
Wild, dude.
Dude,
Scarred
you-
for life.
Oh,
And not only on top of that, like
yeah.
alone, it's a nightmare. You're responsible for 3 children at this point?
Yeah,
Oh,
so I'm
really?
like batting roaches out of kids' hands,
And,
trying
like-
to fucking get them.
like these stories, like,
room.
It's a sad kind of fun, you know. It gets dark when you involve the fact that there's also an infant in this house, and like
Oh.
if not for you, the kid would be dead.
Oh yeah,
God.
easily.
You're also fully, you have one eyeball and fully responsible for a 6-month-old baby.
Oh
Yup.
no, that's awful.
Yeah, it gets less funny there, but like we'll we keep it up from here.
But
Yeah.
you can see the way I like handle things. I'm a panicky guy. It's funny
Yeah.
to see like a kid running around with some like fucking like weird ass like mullet and a cross-eye running into shit. My blind side was bananas, dude. Like,
You're like, we gotta get the fuck out of this house. Bam. Fucking when that door get there.
all the time. It was nuts.
Dude, that's fucking scary. That is fucking terrifying. Ugh, yeah. Even thinking about that, it's gross. So you're living in a vacation resort in South Philly, and doing it up. So then, do you remember like when you would? Because eventually you would go into foster care, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you remember that experience? Are you okay to share that?
I like to refer to the day of as the chase.
The
I-
chase.
Yeah, I did like a whole like this was one of the things I was trying to get published was like kind of like an inside scoop on how this went, you know, in like a reflecting kind of way.
Yeah.
So like I blog about it in my own kind of tone now, you know, in
Okay.
kind of like a funny way.
Right.
But yeah, I say that and you know, I don't mean to make light of it for anyone else out there, but also too like it was a wild fucking day. Like I like because I would spend a lot of time outside of my house. Like I had no rules, dude. I was just a little young bull hustling, just trying to like, you know what I mean? Be a
You were
kid.
legit trying to find like food and stuff, right?
Yes. Like
Okay.
like that was my mission every day. You know, like
Yeah,
I
like, try
barely
to
went
get
to
something to
school. Sure. Like, you know, never went to school, never did shit. Only time I'd really go to school is if I was like starving, you know?
Really?
Yeah. So
You don't like, but you knew there was like, you wouldn't go knowing like there's food. Like, you wouldn't think like, all right, dude. I mean, if I go here every day, at least I could fucking eat. I don't care if I gotta do 2 + 5, whatever the fuck it is.
nah, it wasn't that. Also, too, you gotta remember, dude, like the ridicule from kids. Like I was the poorest
God.
kid in the neighborhood. Like I had
Oh.
bugs jumping out of my hair. Like I didn't have
Oh.
clothes. Like,
Oh,
you know, like for a while, for like 2 years, I wore 2 different shoes.
oh,
Like a
God.
Shaq shoe, and I swear to God, dude, and like a Converse.
And you
Oh,
know,
God.
it was probably because you probably had the matching pair. But you're like, I like this one and I like this one.
They weren't hot, right? I had to get the 2 best looking ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's the other part. Like these are fun, but like, yeah, like how many fucking times did you have lice?
Oh, dude, I had lice for years.
Yeah,
Really?
I just lived with it.
They said my scalp was like scarred. Like
From all the scratching or just the lice and
yeah,
everything.
both. Yeah.
Ugh.
I had a game. This is like wild. I don't know if I've ever like said this out loud to people, especially not online, but for perspective, you guys get it first. I had this game where like, you know, because my siblings were kids and I would call it all around the world. If I woke up in the morning and my head was itchy, I'd be like, all hands on deck, dude. I'd get all these little fucking mongoloids around me and they would just all around the world scratch my head. It felt so good.
Get 8 hands on there and just
You're
everybody
like,
get on
look,
there."
guys, 2 hands ain't gonna cover this one. We need everybody. And they're like, we
Oh,
want
hey.
lice too. Woo.
Oh, they had it, dude. They were like my little ape minions that would just like fucking scratch the bugs out of my hair.
Oh
yeah,
my god. Damn.
So so the day, so I had
So
no
the
idea.
chase.
Yeah. So I get home one night and I'll never forget it was the wintertime turning into spring. And
was it still cold out or no?
Yeah, it was cold and it was getting dark early.
And you what was your jacket situation like? Couldn't have been good.
They were always hand-me-downs. Like the last jacket I had was a Mighty Duck starter jacket, which sounds cool. It sounds cool, but it was like my some cousins from years ago. It was like filthy.
Yeah.
My pops on the inside cut a complete circle in it. So the entire inside of the jacket was a pocket.
Okay.
So like whenever he would we would go to the Acme or whatever, I was just the bull who would steal everything. So I would just have fucking sirloins and shit in my coat. But so that's the coat I was wearing.
Remember the fluff?
So go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, sorry. The fluff that was inside a starter jacket. He slit the lining, pulled all the fluff out, all the warmth of a coat, so he could hide groceries inside of it.
You just had a nice warm jacket turned into a fucking windbreaker.
Yeah, it was basically just a windbreaker.
And so, quick question: you're stealing sirloins and steaks and stuff. No intention of cooking these. They're to resell for street value to get money for something for fucking dope or something, right?
Both. But yeah, he did a lot of that.
How would you you would cook it? How would you cook it?
Well, sometimes he would go outside with the fucking charcoal grill, and then sometimes we would have gas. Actually, there was this one year in Philly, might have been 98 or something. It got so cold that the city made it a fucking thing that they have to keep your gas on in the winter.
You have squatters' rights.
No, they would do it the freezing rights. Even if you didn't pay your gas bill, PGW couldn't turn your gas off. Yeah. And the people whose was already turned off, they would turn back on because it was so cold. They were afraid all the residents were going to die. So you got free gas.
Yeah.
So that helped.
So that's how I got steak.
Yeah. He's like, we're eating right now, guys.
Yeah, I never you're right. There was rarely times I remember him making anything we stole.
So when you're stealing this stuff though, are you in your mind God damn it, I have to steal again? Or you're I'm gonna get the food, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be the man to I'm stealing this. This is awesome. I'm doing something good here. What was your thought process when your dad's slipping you fucking links to stick in your fucking jacket?
Bro, unfortunately, and this is some of the sad shit that I've realized now, as an adult, is I didn't give it two thoughts. That was the job. I was brought up this way. This is exactly what we did. There was no ifs, ands, or what. I just wasn't getting caught. If I got caught, the only thing I wanted to do was not get caught. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not make any drawing shit happen. That would be my fault. You know what I mean? I had one time it did happen, I was way too old to be in a fucking stroller, bro. I was high as shit, dude. Drove me to the Acme on his handlebars of his bike, bro, with a fucking stroller like this. He was holding a ladder.
No,
we get there, he pops the joint open, makes me get in the fucking stroller. It's not even the winter yet. Gives me the Mighty Ducks jacket. I'm not lying, dude. He puts me in the fucking stroller. We're going down each aisle. And I guess in his mind, it was just going to be easy to just slide these down my back.
Yeah.
So he was just popping open my collar and just fucking dropping some chicken cutties in there. You know what I'm saying?
So you're God damn, Dad, that's cold.
Right. Yeah. But I wasn't, because I will get a fucking smack, So I'm just yeah, no, there's no chicken cutlets back there.
So chicken, fuck you, that's my back.
So I'm just like chilling, dude. And I remember like he gave me like the last thing was like a thing of like tomato sauce. And like we exit the store, you know, we get all the way to like, you know, when you like leave the grocery store and like you're outside, but you're inside. You went through one set of doors, you know, that little like vestibule or whatever.
Yeah.
In the lobby.
I stood up too quick. I'm like, I'm stretched, dude. No. And I forgot. And I stood up and the fucking jar of gravy fell out. shattered everywhere, dude. The guys came out, dude, running out. Like the Acme security dudes.
Yeah.
Grabbed my pops, like put his hands behind his back, like marched us to the back.
Dude.
And like they brought him into the office and I was sitting there and I'll never forget this. Like there was like this dude who worked at Giant, like the security guy or Acme. And he was like, "You hungry?" And like, remember, this is that Italian project. I'm never supposed to tell anyone I'm unhappy or, you know, I am hungry or anything. So I lied. I'm like, nah. He's like, "You hungry? Like you have brothers and sisters at home?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are they hungry?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "You sure?" "I'll give you a bot. Look, pick any donuts you want. You know, I'll give you a whole dozen of them." And I was like,
yeah.
I was just so nervous. And then I remember like, because Acme used to do this thing back in the day, like you get 2 free steals. They book you, they'll give you groceries to take home. You know, it's like a fucking thing. So he gets like some bullshit groceries to get home. Not everything he wanted, but also too, I have a bunch of cold meat in my jacket still. That we're getting away with. Yeah.
Oh, so they thought like, it was just the sauce that you were taking. Okay.
Right. And
the fucking Mighty Ducks jacket. Not a bad idea.
And there was like a couple other things that he had on him, you know, that they took from him. But so then I remember like my pops walks out, you know, and like we're like walking. He's like so mad, dude. Like I know I'm getting fucked up when we get outside. Yeah. And he's like, "What were you talking to about that guy?" And I was like, "Nothing, dude. Like, you know, he hated a rat." I'm like, I didn't say a word, you know. And I told him the story. He's like, "What? Over your donuts? You didn't take them?" Whopped me. I'm like, "Oh, you can't win with this guy, dude. He's a fucking asshole, dude." Yeah. He was basically the jerk off. Biggest jerk off ever, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah,
sounds like a real winner. So okay, so you get busted there. So then let's get back to the chase.
All right, the chase.
So it's your last day before foster care, right?
Yeah. So I come home. I remember at this time I was seeing this little Cambodian girl. She was very nice. You know, like at all the kids in school, like, you know, she talked to me. She was a girl. I'm like, yo, I'm definitely trying to smash. And I was a little kid, but like I was a horned up young man. Yeah. You know, like I didn't understand what was appropriate or not. Like,
I'd have to assume too, like in that scenario, your living scenario, you have been exposed to like sex and things like that in an early age. Oh, is that right? Okay.
Hundo P. My mom was a toot, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, she was tooted out, sonny.
Right. You know? And by toot, you mean prostitute.
Yeah, sex worker, if you want to be formal, because now these motherfuckers get tax breaks and shit. Dude.
World's oldest profession, babe. All right.
Yeah, she was a lady of the night or day, morning, whatever time you fucking hit her OJ.
Later at 4:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't even do it for money either. She would just do it. She would barter.
Love of the game.
Instead of fucking to get money to get a can of corn, she would just fuck for the can of corn. You know?
Yeah.
She was an A to B kind of gal.
Yeah. She's like, look, I don't want the cash exchange. So let's just go. All right.
Yeah. So the one night I come home from my little Cambodian shorty's house, and it's a somber mood more than usual. And there's like one light on the back. And I had this like rule when I come home, and if there were no lights on downstairs, that's how I know. And I didn't know what it was then, but now I know that it was a withdrawal day. You know, they're sick. So like stay the fuck away. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be brutal in there, dude. Yeah. So I would usually climb up, like, you know, my crib was really close to the next house. So I could like use the pipe, the drain pipe, but then also like put my feet in between both buildings. Yeah. And kind of, you know what I mean? Like shuffle up. Yeah. So yeah, but this time it was like weird. There was one backlight on. I'm like, what the fuck? And I went in and, no kids were there, and only my pops was there. And a lot of times my mom would leave. She would just like dip off for weeks, months. Yeah. At this point, she was like gone. I haven't seen her in a minute. Yeah. So I get there, and my pop's like all weird, like high as shit, walking around like, you know, not knowing what to do. Like, and he tells me, he's like, they came and got him, social services. I'm like, oh shit, dude. Like, that's crazy. What are we gonna do? And he kept saying, like, we're going to go get him back. I'm like, all right, dude.
You're like on a team with him now. You're like 9. Yeah. He's coked out of his mind. 4 out of 5 of his children have just been repossessed by social services. And you two idiots are going to come up with a plan to get them back. You, an uneducated 9-year-old who should not be put in this position fucking ever. And full-grown high adult is like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna solve this?
We're gonna get our family back together. The family stays together.
Yeah. Like a total jerk off. So so I was like, all right, dude, like I am gonna go upstairs. You know,
I'm gonna go to my room.
I'm gonna go hang out with the cockroaches.
Dude. Yeah. So like I remember that like morning because I I usually would like leave, you know, maybe run down because I had a few places I could get grub late night.
Yeah.
And I actually think I might have had a couple soft pretzels from the Cambodian girl. Like her dad, I think, realized I was like poor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like go upstairs and like I just don't know what to think. Next morning, I'm like starving. I'm like, I gotta go to school, dog. Like I gotta get some grub.
Yeah.
So I go. Remember, I'm sitting in class. Like I hated it. You know what I mean? Like I would show up with nothing, dude. No pencil, no paper, no books. It's like the school year's almost over. This lady has seen me like 5 times. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like one of those situations. But they would have to give out lunch tickets. Like you had to get, you know, little fucking like the bus tickets back in the day, like a raffle.
Yeah.
So like I had to get my like raffle drawn. So like I'd have to go. And I remember she would always give it to me last and like make me stay.
Yeah.
And like she would always write a letter home. I'm like, dude.
This ain't doing shit, lady. Yeah.
And I remember this day, warrior. She asked me to like stay after class. I'm like, sure. I got my thing and she was like, made a phone call and was like, go down to the principal's office. Like they would just want to talk to you, you know, no problem. After that, you can get lunch. I was like, yeah, okay. Heard that one before, lady. So I went right to the fucking lunch line.
Yeah.
But the lunch line, you know, public school, free lunch, dude, it's a mile long.
Yeah.
So I remember trading my ticket for some bull who was like right there for a peanut butter and jelly. Bang. Put that in my shit.
So like one of the kids that packed lunch, you were like, hey, you want the free lunch? And he's like, fuck yeah, chicken nuggets, you know, whatever. Yeah.
So like, you know, I was dipset, dude. I'm like, these motherfuckers ain't get me. So I'd leave the school, go across the street. Like my house was directly diagonal from Francis Scott Key. Like that's where I went to school in South Philly.
Okay.
Later of the national anthem.
Yeah, like Eighth and Wolf.
Shout out.
Wolf or something like that.
Francis Scott Key fan of the show.
Yeah.
Also, non-racist.
Oh, really?
Allegedly.
I mean, back then wasn't.
Back then, who wasn't? Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, go ahead. So you trade the ticket for the lunch from the kid. You leave school and then
hit the bricks. Yep.
Okay. So then outside, where do you go?
I'm just gonna go home, dude. We gotta fucking figure it out now, dude. I'm like wondering where my brothers and sisters are. I'm hoping in my head my mom's back. You know, like I need some answers here, Jackie.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, are they coming for me? I come out, there's like a cop car in front of the crib.
Okay.
And a social services van. And I know that one because like when they would come all the time, we had like a drill, like Chinese fire drill, white social services, like get up, like everyone pull the blinds, you know, turn out the lights, fucking act like a bush, dude, play dead.
Yeah.
So I scouted the area, you know, like I walk across the street. I'm like, eat my PB&J. Yeah. I walk all the way around the block. There's another cop down there. Like they know I'm shifty and they're waiting for me.
Yeah.
And then I see my pops on the curb in handcuffs.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, I waited out. Like I'm not.
Do you eat the food?
Yeah,
okay.
Eat this PB&J, and I eat it early too. You know, so like I didn't realize I was gonna be waiting out this sting operation on my house. So like I ate it early. So I remember like by the end of it, like, dude, it's getting dark now. Like this was in the morning, you know, like and they're just hanging out all day.
You legit sat like in this spot just watching the house
and watch. And then I'd walk around like the back blocks and watch just because I'm trying to see what my dad's gonna do. Like I'm like, are they gonna let him go? And they like brought him into the house. And the cops and the social worker went in the house. Like they were just waiting it out.
Okay.
Finally come back. Like, I thought I waited him out. I'm like creeping up the side and dude, out of nowhere, this fucking dude. And like the sun's like it's still in the air. You know, it's like not dark yet, but it's like, you know, getting dark and it's like chilly. Yeah. I remember I'd snot fucking frozen. I was so cold. So yeah, I come up and like I got booked basically, you know, my dad comes out with a fucking house with his things and like, Mickey, you know, screaming. He starts fucking running around with his fucking arms. He just tells me to run. So I fucking try to scurry out. We both run.
Was your dad handcuffed?
Zip tied.
Zip tied?
Like a fucking pig, dude. He was zip tied, Jackie. So yeah, so they chase me down. Dude, this fucking guy gets me. Tackles the shit out of me. Like these motherfuckers were like, dude, we've been waiting here all day.
Yeah.
You know, we've been here since 11:30 out.
Yeah.
Like, fuck this kid. He's been waiting us out. Like he's stalking us, you know, like they were pissed.
Yeah.
Like, they were made.
They're like, you made us fucking piss in this fucking roach bathroom where you live. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. They probably didn't sit down for hours.
Yeah.
Like, no way they sat down in it. Like
all for this little 10-year-old kid. So, okay.
To their credit, you know, they probably thought I was in danger, you know, and like, which I was, you know, so it's
true.
Like,
no,
good on them, kind of.
They were doing what they perceived to be the right thing, which in hindsight, it definitely was. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So they grab you, then what? Do they put you in the van or what's going on?
Put me in the social services van. Yep. The lady tells me it stinks. And I'm like, what the fuck is this smell in here? And she told me, I swear to God on my life. She turned around. She was like, some Puerto Rican kid threw up in here earlier. And I was like, nice, dude. Like, great. And like at this point, like I'll admit, like I was like systemically racist as a child, you know, like it's all I heard. So I'm like, oh, he's fucking Puerto Rican. Like, what, dude?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm so embarrassed about that. But like, really, like that was my
attitude. You were a victim of you're a victim of your surroundings. There's no
wildly uneducated.
There's nothing to apologize for.
Yeah, you had been to 5 days of 5th grade. Like
you had no idea that there was a better way to do it. So I don't think there's any need for apology there. You've obviously realized like that, you know, what's going on. So either way, they throw you in the van. They have, you know, the dirty wetback.
Yeah, that was me, dude.
He's like, these fucking bean pickers fucking throwing up these rice everywhere with these chimichangas. Yeah. So either way, just kidding, by the way. There's a joke, but fucking hate that we have to say that. But we have a disclaimer, so fuck off. So either way, okay, so you're in the van, then what? Do they take you to social services and like your dad just that you see, like you drive off seeing your dad just sitting there, or what's going on?
So they put me in a van and he comes up and I'll never forget this. Like, this is how high this dude was, or like maybe coming down, like such an idiot.
Yeah.
He's like putting on his show for these people. Dude, this is like his Marlon Brando moment. You know what I mean, dude?
Look what they've done to my boy.
He's like,
he's fucking trying to sell it. And he like comes up and like, I'm going to get you up, blah, blah, blah. And he gives me a water bottle.
like a Deer Park water bottle?
No, dude, like a fucking old Gold's Gym, like a squirt bottle, like that, you know, like
why?
With like the thing all chewed up because he didn't have any fucking thing else, dude. Like the only other thing he gave me was like the last bad haircut I ever had, where he just shaved my entire head except for my rat tail.
Right.
So yeah, he gives me this thing and he's like, don't forget me. And I'm like, what? I remember like taking a sip and the fucking thing was chewed on and I'm like, oh my God, dude. It like tasted like vodka. It was like, dude.
Did you, gross, I mean, but at that time though, you had no idea what was like did you cherish that water bottle?
Dude, you couldn't pull that thing from my cold dead grip.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it was like one of my most prized possessions, dude.
Yeah.
How long
your
did
dad
it take
gave
you?
it to you? Yeah.
It's the last thing you ever got from him. Your child, so all your siblings are gone. It's just you and your father. It's the last moment you're probably going to see him in the back of in the van of a child protective service. He hands you the water bottle. When do you let go of that water bottle?
There was like this fucking cunt nun at St. Vincent's group home, and her only job was to completely remove any fucking hope you had of returning to your family.
Oh, really?
So like, and like you had to do therapy all the time, you know, and like they just worked me until I was like, just fucking take the thing. It stinks. Anything fucking stinks. Dude.
It's chewed up. Yeah. Get what you say, Justin?
No, it's like it's obviously you shouldn't fucking have the water bottle. But like in the moment, you're like, let the kid have his water bottle. But you're like, you need to move on. It's a sad, funny, beautiful, all it's fucked up.
Chewed up water bottle is the
dude.
perfect
And it's
metaphor for your life.
a pink Gold's
Sure is,
Gym
dude.
water bottle. It's
Leaky
all you have
boy,
left.
dude.
So okay.
Fitting.
So how long were you at St. Vincent's? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Like a year.
Okay. And what was that like?
It sucked. It was very weird. Like it was basically like it's crazy because you can like Google St. Vincent's. It's like one of the oldest like fucking orphanages like in the state/city in the country. Like it has a wild history. It used to be like an all boys school, then girls school, then it like burnt down, and you know what I mean. That became an orphanage. Like it was for runaway women at one point. It was a wild thing.
Oh wow!
But I was separated from the kids. So actually that night, like I had to get taken to the hospital. Like they looked through at my whole body. Like I remember that's the first time I ever had to get naked, and I felt like a total gay wad. Hated that. But it was weird. Like they took note of all the bruises. Like asked me how I got the bruises.
And you're like, your mother. That's how, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude. That's how I was. I was like, fuck off. They shaved my head, like the whole thing. Like picked out lice, treated it. Dude, I was so tired by the time I got to this home. I got there at like 3:30 in the morning, and I hadn't eaten anything since that PB&J, dog. Hungry as shit. They put me on the and like I didn't meet anyone else. It was just like this old nun bitch, and she was like, I walk in, and she's like, points like a scary skeleton to like the room I'm sleeping in, and I swear to God, dude, this is a fucking true story. I go on the bed is not made, but there's just a plastic like tarp over it.
Like
so I just
like pea sheet, that
vinyl
sheet.
So I just like laid on this fucking bag of crinkly fucking asshole sheets all night, and then like I'm not falling asleep, and then like I'm not kidding, 40 minutes into me laying there, like, what the fuck, dude? This kid who's laying on the other side, because there's like 4 beds in this room, with sleeping boys. The first time I laid down, I'm looking at this like little brown guy, Puerto Rican dude sucking his thumb. And I'm like, oh, dude, I'm turning the fuck right over, So I turn over. So now I got to look at this thumb sucker. And then before I know it, I feel a leg wrap around my thigh and a couple little bunny humps. Dude, when I tell you, like, I beat the brakes off of this dude.
Was it the like, thumb sucker?
Yeah, dude.
He got in bed with you.
All I hear is like, and then I'm getting dry humps, dude. I beat the piss out of him, dude. And then because of that, like the first night I was there, it was just like I was in everyone's like, on the bad side. Yeah, they had to like put me in this fucking like solo room.
They knew you.
It was nuts,
dude. If the bed's empty next to fucking Thumbsucker, you're not the first person he's fucking bunny humped. You know what I mean? Like they knew thumb sucking Sanchez was going after you. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck is this now? They
didn't give a fuck over there, dude. It was a wild spot, dude. Like it was weird.
Like, it's just kind of like 3 hots and a cot. Kind of they'd feed you and you just fucking be there, kind of thing.
Yeah, chores. At first, I had to do like school in the building to like figure out like where I was at.
You remember like how many other kids are in there with you?
Yeah, so it was like think of like a fucking middle school, right?
Okay.
So like the first level was like administrative, right? And it wasn't many offices, like 3 offices. Like old ladies, like church affiliated. The first floor, and then the next floor up was like the dining hall. It was like there was a gym and the fucking
cafeteria,
right? And then above that was like a whole room of like classrooms.
Okay.
They busted out a bunch of walls, so there's like a common area and then bedrooms that like line a common area.
Okay.
And it was done by sex and age. So like I was with the boys from like 9 to 13 or like 9 to 15.
Oh, that's fucking damn. So some 13-year-olds could be doing some shit, huh?
Oh, dude, I saw a dude's hog in there and I was like, because the shower situation was bananas. But yeah, so then the next one up was like the little kids, and they were, they weren't segregated based off of their gender. They were boys and girls together.
All thrown together,
Yeah, and that's where like my siblings were. So like I was there almost a year. I saw them one time, maybe twice.
Wow.
Because they try and
yeah.
get you used to the fact that you might not go live with them next.
Yeah.
Oh,
And bro,
I
they
see.
just don't give a fuck. Honestly, like half
Yeah.
of it's volunteer people, who make like bullshit money, and the other
Yeah.
half's like nuns
Yeah.
and like an old priest who would just creep around and just like lay next to you.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Really?
yeah. Never was into me. Never was into me.
Yeah. They're like, all right, well, the wonky-eyed kid, we're not fucking dealing with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a bit about it. It's like he wasn't into me because like the cross-eyed porn wasn't a cross-eyed blowjob wasn't in yet.
Yeah.
Anime didn't even make it here yet. Like
Jesus.
we didn't even get like Sims boners when this was
Yeah.
happening. So like,
Yeah. Yeah, what are you gonna do? I mean, you lucked out. So either way, you leave foster care, and then that's when you head down to Aunt Judy in Virginia, right? So
that's right.
we want to give a shout out real quick. She's no longer with us, correct? But you're saying
Right.
this was a great woman, Aunt Judy.
Oh, the best, dude. R.I.P. Ain't you? Holla at your boy. She's from
And not
fucking
to
the hood
sorry.
herself, dude. She was the pimp. She was a G.
and not to interrupt, but you entered foster care with 5. You leave with Aunt Judy with 3, right?
So it's me. I have a brother and a sister who are twins, and
Okay.
then another sister who's younger, and then another little baby brother who's an infant. So
Okay.
there's 5 total.
Much younger. Yeah.
Right. So off the bat, we all go to Aunt Judy's.
all 5
all
of you.
5.
Right.
Okay.
But after like a few months, because behind the scenes, she's like trying to deliberate to see if like, okay, are my parents going to get their shit back together? Are we going to have to either, she's an older woman, dude. Like she's in her 50s at this point. Like she's like, to fucking adopt all these kids is nuts.
She'd be lucky to see you through high school, let alone the youngest one. Not a fucking chance. So she
Exactly.
can't take care of these kids. She can harbor
Also,
them, but she
like,
can't
She's
raise
like,
them to adulthood.
also, it's like, dude, she's an older woman. Like, one kid is fucking tough. Imagine
Right.
5.
Yeah,
like
5.
It's too fucking much.
5 uneducated have been living in
fucking
squalor children.
hooligans. Yeah, yeah.
And not to mention at this time, like she's a foster parent. Like she takes in kids like who can't, for short-term placement. And like she won Mad Awards like in her town in Gloucester, Virginia.
Are you
like-
related to Aunt Judy or
Yeah.
is that just, okay.
So she's actually like my biological mom's aunt. So
Okay.
she's like my mom's sister,
Okay.
like my
Okay.
grandma.
So it wasn't just like Aunt Judy was her name. She was your actual aunt. Okay.
Right.
So you go down there, you live with Aunt Judy, you're there for a couple of years. She really kind of changed your life, right? Like, would you say this was the first like real home you lived in? Like, and
Absolutely.
would you say Aunt Judy was the first person that you actually thought in your life actually cared about you?
100%. Like she taught me everything, everything from like
Tough
how
love,
to express myself. Yeah. But like, the way you would a fucking dog you rescue, in the most loving way, but you got to communicate how they know, and she softened me up.
Like
she taught me manners.
Everything you know is wrong. And I know that you think you know what you're doing, but you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And I have to re-educate everything you know because you've been raised by animals.
But also too, bro, she was like old school, like Philly, so like she told me like, bro, when I first got there, when I was going to the school, she was like, Mike, I'm gonna tell you right now, Mickey, like this is, you're not like these kids, you don't talk like them, you act different, like you might get in some shit. She's like, I have one rule, you hit back. That's it. You stand up for yourself, but you hit back. You never hit first.
Okay.
Like she was like that, like because I got suspended my 3rd day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
but she knows like, she knows like you have to
her,
stand up
like,
for yourself.
Let's go home. Fuck them. She was cool like that.
Yeah.
So like she was a real one, dude.
Nice.
But yeah, that was
Good
awesome. That was like
cook,
a
too.
real life, dude. Oh, amazing cook, dude. We lived in beautiful Gloucester County, Virginia, right on the water. Her and her husband made some good money. We had a dock, boats. It was amazing, dude. Like it was awesome. Like
so you really
crabbing
legit, you legit went from hell to heaven.
Oh yeah, dude. It was a total fucking glow up, son.
Yeah.
Like it was pretty popping,
Yeah.
It was cool. It was probably the
just a
best time
little,
of my life,
Yeah.
Like I started playing organized sports, like I was playing football
Yeah.
and like, I got glasses. It was like cool.
No eye patch?
So I did get an eye patch, but I had to wear it at home. Yeah, so they would make me, because my left eye is the one that is, fucking a complete idiotic dead eye.
I mean, it looks good now.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is a lot of years of fucking extra strength contacts. But yeah, so I had to put it over my right one. I would just have to watch TV. Dude, and I remember, like, the reason my eye probably isn't stronger is because I was cheap. I was a cheater, dude. Like, I was a manipulating fucking little lying cunt kid. Like, I would sit there. I remember, like, watching Cat Dog. Or actually, you know what I got booked? Remember when Joe Rogan used to do the battle bots?
Yeah.
Like, I was watching that in the morning, and I was sitting like this.
Great
and I would
show.
like move it, where I could like peek out from under it. And like I got booked one time. She's like, "You're only cheating yourself, you little fucking cocksucker." She would like call me shit like that, dude.
Yeah. No, she's I mean, dude, the eye patch. Justin, your thoughts. What's going on here?
I have personally had to wear an eye patch. Invented in what was it? 900 AD.
900 AD. Yeah.
Hasn't changed since. Doesn't need it. It's the most perfectly built medical product ever. They've invented it.
One and
they're
done.
like, we're done.
Yeah.
We're good. It can't get better. Strap across the forehead. And Mickey, as a 10-year-old in Virginia, probably wore the same size one I wore as a 25-year-old male. It
universal.
Past your face.
Yeah.
Strap across the forehead.
Strap and a flap, baby. That's all you need.
My favorite story. So I'm gonna tell it because I love it. It's my favorite. Even though it's Mike's fucking history, Mickey's history. He gets a bike for Christmas, and Aunt Judy at this point is still like letting him feed slightly into the theory that his parents aren't fucking complete garbage, and gives him a bike with the name like from dad,
Okay.
Gets the bike, and he's like, "Oh, like fuck yeah, my dad got me a bike." He's jacked about it. Fast forward, I don't know how many years, and like he fucking puts it together that like my parents didn't buy me that fucking bike. Like Aunt Judy bought me that fucking bike.
Yeah.
And it's like just a sad, like beautiful realization. Like, of course she fucking did. Like, and not only did she buy me the bike, but she gave me that moment of like, my dad gave me this fucking bike.
Like, yeah. Would you throw that in her face too? Like,
one time I got caught like ghost riding it. And the neighbor like yelled at me or whatever. And, I just had this trigger where I just back talk immediately. I would regret it a lot, but I'm like, fuck off, dude. Like, who the fuck are you? Yeah. And I remember I said to the guy, like, I'll never forget it. I was like, take a picture, it'll last longer, jerk off. And like, he tells my aunt that, and she's like, you said what to this man? And I'm like, no. And like, she like half, like I could tell wants to laugh, but she's like, this fucking kid. So she goes on about like, respecting your things and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, my dad gave it to me anyway. Like, well,
what do you,
dude? And she never said anything, dude. And what's funny? That wasn't the first time. Like the moment she picked me up from St. Vincent's, my birthday is early December, and like I remember talking to my mom on the phone. She asked me what I wanted for my birthday. Like, she was gonna fucking show up or give me anything. Right. And I said I wanted a pair of Jordans because, like, dude, 90s, like that's what everyone wanted.
Bro, they're still right.
Dude, never heard from her. She said she got into an accident. I saw her one more time. She had a fucking neck brace on. She was walking around like an asshole lion. Dude, I swear to God. But then, when my Aunt Judy showed up, it was like perfect too, because like my favorite outfit that I had in the home was like this like red and black starter zip up, John, like a 76ers one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like with a gold stripe or something, it was cool. Okay.
I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I remember like I was an embarrassed kind of kid, and she was like, "Oh, that's really cool. Like, is that yours? Did you bring that here?" And I lied. I was like, "Yeah, this was totally mine before I got here." And she was like, "Oh," she was like, "It's funny, like your mom gave me a present to give to you, and I think it would be perfect." And I open up this box, and it's these fucking black and red Jordan, like what are they, the 13s?
Oh, really?
I'm like, oh my God.
So it was
90, 97? It would have been 97. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could have gotten them.
Well, yeah,
later.
This was like 90. This was like 98, 99. But yeah, it was like I got those ones. Yeah.
Dude, beautiful shoe. I actually have two pairs of 13s. I have the Black Cat 13s, and then I have the reverse He Got Game 13s. Ooh, and they're both beautiful shoes. I love, dude. 11s, 12s, and 13s might be my favorite shoes of all time. I have multiple pairs of each. One of my favorite shoes ever. I have the Wolf Gray 12s, Wolf Gray high 12s. Beautiful shoe. Then I got the midnight green 11s. Oh, love them.
I have Concords.
Oh, you fuck, dude. You know what I wanted to get? I wanted to get the prom night 11s. Absolutely beautiful, dude. Like, these shoes are legit works of art. They really are. They're absolutely gorgeous.
I love them.
But okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Justin.
I loved mine too, dude. I was really into mine. And it was so funny because years later, like, I remember my Aunt Judy talking about it. Like, none of us have been in a vehicle for this long. You know, like, we're driving 7 hours to Virginia. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, every single one of us is throwing our guts up in the van. Like,
every kid gets motion sickness.
Seasick as a mug, dude. And she was like, Mick, I'll never forget. I look back in the mirror and these kids are spewing all around you, and you just have your shoes in your lap, wiping off throw up off the shoe, just like polishing it. She was like, that's when I knew, like, nothing fazed you. Like, it was gonna take a lot to get through to you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you legit woke up in a sea of roaches, a little throw up. Man, you know, who cares?
Give me a break. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, been there, lady. You know?
None of you kids have been in a car. This is like your first time being in a car on a highway.
Yeah.
At the age of 10.
I mean, it's terrible to laugh at, but okay.
It is. That's
Hilarious,
the funny. That is the beauty of it. That's what I love about this, is that, especially because, like, Mike, like, it takes, you know, like, a lot of this fucks people up for life. Like I said, like in the beginning, like, no one would blame Mike for stabbing someone after I told you all this.
Oh, for sure. You should be in jail for murder. This is it's fine. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, like, you could say racist shit and they'd be like, what's wrong with the kid? Like, oh, let me tell you what's wrong with them.
Whoa. Hey, you wake up in a sea of roaches and you tell me what your racial thoughts are. All right, Bob? Yeah.
You protect a man who didn't feed you, and then let me know how life goes.
Lice for 7 years. Tell me what you think about black people.
It's dark, but it is
wild dynamic.
Funny.
It is. Yeah. It's a bizarre fucking
sadly
kind of
funny.
thing.
It makes me tear up and it makes me laugh at the same fucking time. That's what I love about it.
Yeah,
me too.
Agreed.
Hopefully, I can somehow one day, you know, get that across in a written work. I'm trying.
Hey, man.
But
as long as you keep trying. So, okay, let's keep it going then. So, because we still got a lot of ground to cover. So you leave Virginia with Aunt Judy and you move to the suburbs of Philadelphia, Limerick, right?
That's right.
Okay. So you're adopted by a family, right? And you went from South Philly, which is, you know, we know what South Philadelphia is, in squalor, to Virginia in a beautiful, was it like country area or
dude, in the country, Bob.
In a beautiful country, Virginia, with a loving family that was supportive. So you're like, you must have been somewhat skeptical of like, whoa, fucking things are pretty good here with Aunt Jude. She can fucking cook. We got a boat. There's fucking bikes. Like, come on. You know, she lies about my parents not being fucking JOs. Like, what's going on here? I got my J's, right? So you're leaving there to go to, you know, 3 Mile Island in Limerick with this new family. So what were your thoughts of like what was your initial thoughts of like, all right, this family's going to take me in, which is cool. But then you go from there to like, and like, you know, the whole process of getting there. So what were your thoughts on like the whole process of going? Go ahead.
I was not jacked on this, dude. Yeah. I was super like against it, dude. Like I was, you know, like I didn't understand at that time, like why I couldn't stay. You know what I mean? Like I was very emotional. Like I would just cry all the time I thought about it. It was weird. And then I had to do this like thing where I had to interview families. Yeah. You know? So like, I remember like one of the ones that I met before, you know, the Hadfields who adopted me was like this Spanish family. And dude, they were like wonderful people. They had 2 girls, like they had some fucking money.
How were the girls looking?
Dude, like
I would have been like, send me to the Latina ladies, baby. Oh yeah.
This is how Nikki Sanchez.
Oh yeah.
This is how skewed my thinking was, dude. And like my brain, like, and I remember like they had to kick me out. I was freaking out, and I called them Spanish flies. And I'm like, they're not sending me with these fucking dude. I was like a brutally like a proud
So
Italian
you
American.
fit right in with the old Limerick crowd then, huh?
Dude. Well, it's like at that point, this was like, stuff that like my Aunt Judy had worked out. You know what I mean? Like, but it was just like, that's how quick you fucking, regress into that kind of thinking, and I just thought I'm on my own again. So now I'm me again,
so
like
abandonment,
it was wild.
I know, like I have abandonment issues as well. Abandonment's a big thing for me. So at this point, you're thinking not only like rejection, abandonment, and like just like the fear of not being wanted and not being loved again, right? And you're like, dude, I finally have something nice. Like I went through so much shit, so much terrible shit to finally have like a clean bed and hot water. And like, dude, like, I'll tell my wife that shit sometimes because I remember living in houses for years of like no hot water, no cable, no internet, fucking mustard in the fridge. You know what I mean? Like that's it. And like roaches and like, not the best stuff. And like, I remember like years of that. And like, like weeks of, or, like days of not eating or living off like gummy bears and pretzels, just like malnourished and, whatever. Like, but so like, I'll tell my wife, like, do you know how fucking good we have it? Like the lights are on, we have internet, we have fucking this, we have hot water, right? Like you have no fucking idea how good we have it. So don't fucking complain that we don't have a fucking house. But, like this whole shit, you know what I mean? But
that's when Regina would tell me, well, Mickey, you got to put things in the perspective here. It's like your girlfriend didn't come from the same world you come from. You got to, adjust expectations. So yeah, I used to do that too, bro. I used to be like, what is your problem? Like we're live. We have every streaming channel. Like life get any better, dude.
I was on HBO Max today. Like, come on.
Like, dude, they made a Mandalorian show. Boba Fett's back. What are we even talking about?
Watch it here,
Yeah, dude. They just did a new Matrix. No worries, dude.
Yeah. John Cena show comes out on fucking Thursday. Come on. Yeah.
Wild, dude.
Women,
Nah, just Richie whites. Just whites.
Yeah, these fucking whites out here. You know what? I wish I was a Sanchez.
Same, dude. Same.
Oh man. Okay. So either way, you
pay a lot less in taxes. Hey.
I mean, getting into college would be a lot easier. Hey.
Yeah, I'm kidding, but really.
I mean, it's not a joke if it's fucking true. No, but dude, shout out Chris Stefano, fan of the show, listener to the show, asked him to be a guest on the show. Or I talked to his agent. His agent said he's too busy.
I saw him in
he is too busy.
No,
I just saw him in West Palm, dude.
Way too busy. But
he does a great live show.
Mickey has an aunt, what is it? Aunt Jerry and TT and
TT Jerry.
Yeah, you have TT Jerry. Yeah, you have a TT Jerry t-shirt.
Nice.
I do, but I have an Aunt Bootsy.
Yeah.
She never had any utility except for electricity. She made the best cup of coffee in South Philly with a Bunsen burner, Jack. She was a wizard with the Bunsen burner, dude.
The old Bunsen wizard.
Dude, I swear to God, like all the union guys would stop by Aunt Bootsy's and give her 50 cents for a cup of coffee because that's how good it was. And that's how she paid her bills.
I sprinkle a little fucking solution there. Hey, so wake you up in the morning.
She was obsessed with Elvis. It was hilarious. Like everything in her house was Elvis. Like the clock, all of her t-shirts. It was so funny.
Dude, old women loved Elvis and Tom Jones. Those were like, forget about it. So, okay. So you leave Virginia, you head to Limerick. Let's talk about it. What was the experience like? How did you like meeting your new family? Go ahead.
The first time I met him was on a weekend.
Yeah.
So, my aunt drove us up to Limerick. She actually stayed the weekend, but like at one of my aunts, like my Aunt Sissy lived out like by like the McDade Mall.
Okay.
She was a waitress over like at the mall.
Like McDade Boulevard, like in Chester?
Yeah. McDade Mall down Baltimore Ave.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
an hour away.
Yeah, like I didn't even know that, She told me later. She was like, yeah, dude, I wasn't going far. Like, I don't fucking know these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we went and it was pretty cool. I mean, it was weird actually, like, cause like there was my other brother he's only like a year younger than me. right? And then another younger brother who's like, basically the same age as the twins, maybe like a year younger.
Okay.
So they already had their own family dynamic, like he was the oldest, he was the fucking alpha, and
they had two kids of their own. One of those kids was about the same age as you, about a year younger. And then your actual siblings you came in with, they were younger, but they had another sibling who was around their age. So like they kind of matched up.
Wait. Yeah. So you didn't go by yourself there. You went with you and your two siblings to the place in Limerick.
So we got split up, dude. So we got split up, but they kept the core of us together. So I went to this family with my brother and my sister.
Okay.
My other sister actually originally got adopted, like a random cousin I had or something was looking to adopt and took her in because she was like, a young kid. She was like a toddler.
Yeah.
And the infant, they decided to adopt him into a family in Virginia and just like give him a fresh start.
All right.
And we all agreed on it, like they sat us down and we were like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, like, maybe someday, but let this fucking kid,
Are you still in contact with everyone, even the toddler or even the infant?
Nah, not the infant. Like the last I heard. So like I went years later, like in high school, I went to see my Aunt Judy, like the year before she passed away. And bro, we were in Walmart. I'm not even kidding you. It's a small town, dude. Like, his parents like are head of like the sports leagues and shit. It's like a good family, but I saw him. I'm like, looked, and my Aunt Judy like looked at me, and just her and I knew. And we walked away, and then I asked for the first time in years, and she was like, yeah, look, I get this stuff from like social services because she knows like all the social workers because she's like the foster mom of the year. So like she showed me pictures of him growing up. Like he played soccer, he ran track. Like he has a good life, but I never talked to him again.
So he does he even have an idea of like what you did for him?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's, that's up to like whatever his parents told him.
You legit saved this kid's fucking life, man.
Well, yeah, he was like my, he's my little brother. I got to change his diapers and did everything. You know what I mean? Fed him sugar water, dude. Bro, we had no formula. I probably fucked him up, bro.
You gave him diabetes.
Yeah. Only way, dude, I figured out like on my own as a child that babies will stop crying if there's no food. Sugar water.
Yeah.
Shake it up, give it to them, and they will chill. It's like a trick. I was like, oh my God, I'm a magician.
Yeah.
Like if these parents only knew.
You told me the story.
6 bottles of it a day.
Yeah. So that's all you know to do. You told me that story. And I was like we were laughing, telling like dark stories of our childhood. And you told me that story. And I looked at you and I was like, you're responsible for an infant? You had to feed him?
Yeah.
I'm like, do you want a hug? Oh my God. I love you, right?
That's rough.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude. You come to terms with this kind of shit, though. It is dark, dude. But like, it's good that many a time like working on it,
Yeah.
It's good that you like saw him as an adult and you're like, he's alive, he's good.
Dude, he was so tall. And like there was always speculation because this was one of those times my mom dipped. You know, she came back and she might have been pregnant.
He was a toot boy.
Nah, they think because my mom was apparently, because I remember my pops talking about it, was like fucking my dad's cousin.
So you should, like I'm saying, like it's not your dad's. He's like your stepbrother, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's Tony Buffano's son. Yeah, yeah, he could like be like my cousin brother, which is nuts.
Yeah, but okay. So you go to Limerick. It's you, your 2 twins, right? And then you're going into a family that already had 2 kids of their own. Okay, and so there's 5. So then the 3 of you would go with the 2 of them. So it'd be 5 total.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's you. Then there was the oldest boy that was there. Then your twins siblings, and then a youngest girl. A youngest boy. Okay. So you get there. Go ahead. So you and your 2 siblings get there at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, and you go in, and what's going
on? It was kind of weird at first, like I remember the first weekend we got there, they wanted to make it like fun, and just kind of let loose. So like I remember we did a bunch of shit, like we went to the bowling alley. That was like the first time I ever went to a bowling alley.
Okay.
I'm like 11.
Okay.
At this point. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I remember like this was like the first time my brother and I had beef. It was like the, kind of like when the fucking apes show off in the yard,
Yeah. The alphas are strutting,
squaring off.
Yeah.
And like I remember my mom was like, "You guys can go to the snack stand, get some shit if you want."
Yeah.
And gave me the money. I was like, "Here you go, Mickey. Like, take the money. You're the oldest, like go handle it." I'm like, easily, dude. Like, So like we're up there, we order, and like my my brother, like, cause bro, he's no bitch either, like, and at this point, like I don't know bull from shit, and he like snatched the money out of my hand, bro, and I socked the shit out of him. Like I fucking, because I just knew how to, like, that's how when it went down, like I'm punching your face, like I'm throwing combos.
Yeah.
I don't know this dude. I don't know how strong he is. I don't know if his young bull is gonna back him up. I'm just start swinging.
Yeah.
And he was not ready to fight. Like so I fucked him right up and got in trouble like immediately. They're like, don't do that. But also too, like it kind of, I'm like, yo, son, like don't play me, dude.
Yeah.
And then before I knew it, so when I got there, my brother was grounded. And he was grounded for throwing knives at my mom's like antique chair.
Okay.
And like, I didn't know this at the time. And then like,
I'm already liking this kid.
Yeah.
He's the man,
wild
dude.
Too.
He's the best, dude. So then like, before I know it, I'm like, oh, dude, like he's pretty cool. Like I could use this kind of muscle.
Yeah.
Like he was a tough kid too. Like he just needed some direction. Our dad was like a pussy. He was in like Boy Scouts and shit. Like I immediately was like, no Boy Scouts. I'm like, I'm not doing it. And my dad was like, I hate this one. I hate this one. This is the worst one. For me. Like he hated me. I kept saying it's for gay lords, dude. I'm like, this is the gayest thing. And like the handkerchiefs, I would bid on them when they would come out. I'd be like, oh, like pointing. And my mom would be like, chill, like you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, dude, they're so gay looking.
Yeah.
And like he got my little,
it didn't help that they're called Weeblos,
Dude, if you don't think, I made a gazillion Weeblo jokes in my life, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, I never, like, my dad wasn't very competitive, like he didn't really get me. So like him and I didn't really hit it off. Like my dad and I were very different. My adopted dad, what I mean? Like he was into the Scouts. He wasn't very competitive. So you
clashed like right away, or?
Not so much clash, just like didn't have a bonding thing, and kind of clashed a little bit,
still that way, or was that resolved eventually? I
mean, it took very many years. I'm 31 and we've been cool now for probably like 5-6 years, but like very cool now, like I had to grow up, I think, a little bit. And it's weird, man. Like you're taking a bunch of kids. Because like the kids were used to listening to me. So it was like a very strange power dynamic for him. As like, Irish Catholic head of the house,
right?
He would tell the kids to do something, and they would look at me,
right?
And
but
he would be like,
they
would just be like they didn't know what to do, like,
right?
And
they just,
I remember one time he was like, "Stop doing that," and they were like, "Should we stop?" And I'm like, "Dude, you stop when I fucking tell you to stop." It was weird. Like I refused to call them mom and dad. And it just didn't feel natural to me,
Why?
And,
I mean, like, did they really want it that bad? Like,
well,
day one, they're like, "Look, you're moving in here. Nice to meet you. I'm mom. That's dad. All right, talking from now on."
They were actually really cool about it in the beginning. Like I could tell, like my they read all the adoption books and shit. Like
okay,
they did the work, but it's like I am not your normal kid. Like I have a very strong identity.
You don't say.
Yeah, and it was weird to them because like the other kids fell in line because like they never felt love from anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they really got into it. Like,
You were old enough that you had some connection to your parents where you felt like they put you on missions and you could win their love by doing illegal things. But then you were trickling that down to the kids. You're like, well, you got to eat. Like, here's the things that I want today from our parents. But they had no interaction with your parents, really. So they had adults now. So now you're getting that divide where you have because it's a similar dynamic. Like I have my stepdad moves in. I've been running my house for 3 years. I'm in charge. My mom pays the bills, but I like dictate the chores. If anyone steps out of line, I put them back in place. Like I take the dogs out, I pick the shit up, I mow the lawn. Like I fucking run this house. Then a man and 3 boys moves in. And I'm like, well, I still run this shit. Like, you know, shit don't change. Now you move on.
Yeah.
And so that dynamic of like your brother starts to fall in line with them. And you're like, no. I still run this. And you're like, no, wait, you're 10. You don't have to run this. And you're like, well, I can't turn it off.
Exactly. That's what it was. It was like I just couldn't turn it off.
Also, too, like they're also seeing you as a savior, because how many times did you take the lumps for them when you guys were in South Philly? Like
every time.
Yeah. You were like you were also their protectors too. Yeah. So they also had that attachment to get over as well. So, okay. So let's get a little lighter though. So you're there, you kind of you're assimilating into this new family with you and your two siblings, and you guys are all assimilating with your new siblings and your parents, and you know the food isn't as great as Aunt Judy's and stuff at first and whatever. So you're doing that, but then also you start going to school. And do you get heavily involved in sports when you're at school?
So yeah, actually, even like before, because I remember we got there August 17th.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forget the day. You know what I mean? And like right away, I guess earlier they asked if like when we went on a visit, like, would you want to play football? So they signed me up for football. And I already played in Virginia, you know, so like I was already a mighty mite. I already got defensive player of the year. I was nice. So like I was just tenacious, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was already playing football. Like it was kind of weird because like my brother, who at that point we became pretty cool together, you know, like he made a shank. Like he showed me, because him and I had bunk beds, and he had this really cool, like he broke off a compass, like the sharp point, you know, and like put it to a fucking spitball gun. And I'm like, this kid's an innovator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, this dude's awesome. And he had like a Richard Rip like poster, because my mom went to the same school as like Rip Hamilton. So like she like loved him.
Right.
And you know, it could tell how tall you were. And my brother would shoot the things at it and fucking throw it at his eyes. And I'm like,
so wait,
this is my guy, dude.
This kid's getting in trouble for throwing knives in a chair. Now he's like creating like pretty much a mini spitball fucking dart gun, right? And he's deadly with it. And so, okay, so Boy Scouts was beneficial for this one, right?
Yeah,
he was like, look, I'm getting knives, I'm getting wood, I'm fucking making weapons. All right.
He was cool, dude. He tied my brother to a chair one time. Like my dad couldn't get it off. He had to like break his chair. His knot game is bananas, dude. He's nice.
He got his knot badge day one. Yeah.
But yeah, I played football and like I was just way better. And that was always strange, you know, like because like he didn't get a lot of time, and like I was, you know, always like captain.
And you guys played on the same team?
Because at that point it was weight.
Okay.
So so you know, like before the 7th grade team.
Yeah, because you were older, but you were malnourished, so you weighed much less than you should have.
Also, I was shorter too. You know, we're a year apart, so like the first year we were the same, but yeah, the next year I went up a weight class, and he did.
Okay, all right. So you guys are playing, right? So you're playing football, and like you start like you're playing like the midget programs at first, and then eventually you play like middle school and stuff, right? Yeah. And then you would play high school ball. Right, varsity all 4 years, right?
Yeah, I was pretty good. Yeah, I got hurt and I couldn't play my senior year. But from 9th grade
did you play?
I was a running back and I played outside linebacker. I was a weak side.
Did you get like any offers or anything like that to go to school?
I could have actually. I had one of those weird situations where East Stroudsburg was looking at one of my buddies to play corner. And they were looking at tape, and like I returned a kickoff as a young bull. And like I remember at the end of the year, they would call people down, like football players and stuff, when coaches were there, and they called me, and like no one in my class was getting called down already, like in 11th grade, you know?
Nice.
And like they talked to everyone. They were like, if you keep playing like that, like you can come here. We'll come back here next year. Like we wanted to let you know, like we saw you. And I was like, oh shit.
They're like, hey, there's this guy, his name's Wes Welker, and this other guy named Julian Edelman. We want you to be like them.
Yeah, I was shifty, dude. I was pretty quick. I was a great form tackler. You know, like I could stick them, and I was smart. And
you had a ton of aggression.
Oh yeah, dude, I was a maniac.
I had a lot of pent up aggression.
How did you?
I was like concussion protocol all the time.
Yeah. How did you like the leadership role too, as well? Like, because you would end up being a captain on the team, right?
Yeah. So like early when I first started playing, it was really hard for me to let coaches like scream in my face and shit.
Sure.
But then I'll never forget, dude, like this really good coach one year. And he told me like, he was like, you're good, dude, but like, you don't know it all. Like, and he like was, that coach, the fucking check you and be like, dude, you suck. Like we're talking about it. You know what I mean? Which was like the best thing anyone could tell you at that time.
Yeah.
Like, and then after that, but also too, like I wasn't the best like leader. Like I literally spring forward history have more fucking personal fouls than anyone in 4 years of high school. Like I would get called all the time because like I would just like on kickoffs and punts, like I would try to fuck you up. I would just try to, I always wanted the ball. So I would punch and rip and they'd be like, dude, you're a maniac.
You're like, dude, the whistle blew 10 minutes ago. What are you doing?
Yeah. Like I like one time killed like I'll never forget fucking Boyertown's like one of their better players, punt return. He called a fair catch and I fucking took his head off. Dude, I didn't even consider stopping and I just hit him as hard as I could.
Wow.
It's 15 yards. Like, fuck them. Like,
yeah, that set a tone.
Yeah, like that's the kind of guy I was. And like some people, loved it and others didn't. So it's like,
right.
I always split the room.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. But the ones that loved you would fucking jump on a grenade for you.
Sure.
Right. Got it. Okay. So what other, you were doing basketball as well?
Yeah. Basketball, I always was like pretty good, like I never got to the point where like I could really compete in high school. So like, I think I played in school until like the 9th grade and then I got cut. So then I just, from then just played like, the rec travel leagues. I would do like the summer or sinus leagues and shit, like West Norton,
Nice.
Just like, I was still playing, but it just wasn't for the school. Okay. I wasn't good enough. My left wasn't good enough, honestly.
Yeah. Couldn't go with your left hand.
I could, just not as good as everyone else. You know what I mean? Like at that point, like I was a football player. So
dude, that's one of the things.
to always recruit for wrestling. And I just was like,
you should have done it, man. It's a fucking, your whole life would have been different. Your whole life. Talk about getting aggression out. Oy. So, okay. So let's keep it moving then. All right. So then I want to get into kind of like your job history a little bit. So you moved to Limerick, right? And we'll start your job history there. So you're at Limerick, you're working as like a busboy at a diner at like 13, right? And like, how long were you there doing that? A couple months?
Yeah, almost probably a year at the Limerick diner.
Okay. How'd you like it?
I hated it. Like it was right as like I was starting to like smoke pot and shit. So I'd get home from school, like smoke an L, and like walk up there all tired, and like a 4-hour shift would seem like fucking 10 years. Yeah. And like all the ladies were like old and like I just kind of floated around and like, ate fucking like in the back, I don't know.
And the cooks loved you.
Oh yeah, like I would go out and like smoke cigs with the old guys and shit. Like they were cool.
Nice. All right. So then you would leave there and you would work at the best tomato pie in the fucking world at Courtleys. Is that right?
Yes. Actually, I forgot. I might have not told you this, but before that, it was very short-lived. I worked at Giant.
Okay.
And I did get, but this is pretty funny. I got fired because like I stole condoms and American Pie.
Yeah. So
I got fucked. Yeah. I was gonna jerk off to it in a condom.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Or like, what if they're like, is this kid practicing to fuck a pie? Did he get the condoms? He's gonna go fuck a pie. So
I was that kind of dude. Yeah. But then I went to Courtleys.
Greatest tomato pie ever. So, all right. So you're there. Okay. So for those people I just want to let everyone know, we do have international listeners, right? We're in Canada. We're in India. We're in England. We're in, there's an Eastern European country I'm forgetting.
Serbia.
We're in Ukraine. And then we're also in Mozambique. JDub, massive in Mozambique.
I'm big in Mozambique.
Oh, Mr. Mozambique.
Big following.
Yeah. So, yeah, big time. So either way, You're at Corpley's. Corpley's is a famous deli in Norristown, right? And it's famous for its tomato pie. So for those not in the Philadelphia area, tomato pie, you can describe it as like it's a pizza with no cheese, right? But it's not hot, it's room temperature or cold sometimes. But the sauce is just fucking incredible. And I'm a big fan of I like the slice where it's one crust, right? So it's like, you know how you can get the corner gimmick, right? Where it's like a double crust end. I'm a big fan of the one crust end. I know the center cut's nice too, if you want to fold it and get it down quick, but I like holding the crust and doing any piece really, because it's all incredible.
I'm a corner guy. Always been a corner guy.
Yeah. So either way, how much tomato pie did you cut at Corpley's?
I cut 1 million tomato pies, dude. 1 billion.
Legit.
For real.
Like how
I would have to get in there every morning at like, dude, 6 a.m. And this is like when I was getting wasted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you're
you could do that back then. Because when you're young, it's like you get so wasted and just fucking run a marathon the next day.
Dude, we wouldn't even go to sleep. We would stay up all night, fucking pop Adderall in the morning. Go over there. I'd cut 1,000 tomato pies.
Sweat like crazy.
I was a robot, you know? Yeah. And then I would cut some bread. Maybe I'd have to go to the deli. It sucked if I was on.
Clench your jaw the whole time.
Oh, all fucking day, dude. Rotisserie. I'd have to fucking break the chicken's legs on the rotisserie. Oh, hated it.
Nice. All right. And then, okay, so how long were you there?
Years, dude. I worked there and also Giovanni's, the pizza shop.
Okay. And then another thing I wanted to ask, you had a third job at this time as well. You were, we'll just say you were a recreational pharmacist. Is that right?
That is true. I did do recreational pharmacy for a bit.
Yeah. How did that go?
Longer than I'd like to admit. Better than you'd think. You know, I had a long run. Yeah. Mickey the doctor, you know what I mean, dude? Sometimes people just need some things. I had them.
Right. Mickey medicine cabinet stuck around even after you left South Philly.
Dude, I could never shake it. I could never shake the scheming. Really, I couldn't. It sucks. Like, that's the thing. Like, as my life changed, I just was always thought like a criminal first because of the many years of just getting that. Like,
it's just kind of stuck in your head.
And, dude. Yeah.
People think I'm joking when I say, but like they like drugs just find you. Like at one point you just like you figure it out, and they just like you have a look about you. Like at a bar, somebody just walks up to you like, "Hey, you want some blank?" And you're like, "Yeah."
I'm a beacon for that, dude. It's very strange, man.
I could say you both are very much like I know Justin is a drug magnet.
I'm not even looking for it most of the time. They just find me. Somebody walks up to me randomly. I'll be at a bar and they'll be like, "You want ecstasy?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." But like, I mean, I didn't ask for this.
Yeah, but I never say no.
I'll get it at a good price too. Like, this isn't just like I'm like, "Oh my god, the best plug ever. Nice to meet you."
Yeah.
Sucks. No. Blessing and a curse.
It's a gift and a curse.
Sure.
Yeah.
So okay. So then you leave Corpley's, right? And you would go to like a health agency as an intern. Is that what was going on?
So that was after. So I did Giovanni's and Corpley's until I left for college.
Okay.
Then in college, I got an internship at this medical supply company.
Okay.
In the summertime.
And what were you doing there? So
when I first got brought on there, I was working in the billing department, which sucked. But they gave me like this asset recovery list. They're like, "Hey, all of this stuff has been out for like months, and like at this point, we're about to write it off. So there's like, fucking 30 grand here. Like, see how much you can get back." Okay. And like in a month, like the first time I was there, I got 25 grand back out of a $30,000 list. And like the boss, like,
how did you? Were you just like calling and
harassing? But like, I'm from where these people are from, so I'm like, "Yo, dude, you know what's gonna happen?" Yeah. Like I would shoot them straight. I was nice.
Yeah.
And they came in and like made it a thing. And I was like, "Oh shit." And then from that moment on, I had a job anytime I came back from school.
Nice. All right. So you showed your worth, showed that, hey, Mickey hustles here. So then, okay, so then you did that like all through school, and then did you stay at the same place and just kind of like your role changed, or is that when you left and came back and were at like a sleep apnea place?
So this place is the first sleep apnea place. Like this is it. But yeah,
Okay.
I climbed the, like the corporate ladder pretty quickly. Because
Okay.
it's like, how it is, dude. It's like politics. Like half these guys I'm partying with on the weekends. It's like,
Yeah.
if you do good work, dude, I was very lucky. I got to say, like a lot of people fucking can work there for 50 years, dude. Justin knows. And it's like, they're in the same spot. So like, I was lucky in a way, but I was nice, like no ifs, ands, or buts.
He entered the company at a good time. It was growing, and like the same thing. Like as long as you like were moderately competent, and like not to downplay like your hard work, but like as long as you were like intelligent, like they would move you up. Like you could tell the people who just could like type in simple things to people who are like, hey, this is a better way to do this, and they were like, hey, would you like a better job?
Yeah.
And
like as long as you came up with a better process, because it was so new. It was like if you could come up with a better process that made logical sense, they'd be like, do you want to run this department? And you'd be like, is that how this company works?
Yeah.
No,
it's like there are people that can come in, like there's people that can't, like they have to be given a list and told like this is what you do, right? And they can't function outside of that. But if you give them that, they can fucking crush, right? But they need that, otherwise they're like, huh?
So for that company, the asset recovery, they would have like, equipment out on the street and they would want it back. So if you owed a bill, Mickey would call you, try and collect it. If they had equipment, he would coordinate like, hey, like I'm going to have a guy come pick it up. So for that stuff, all the equipment that we were no longer able to bill for, we had a huge list of it. Me and another kid, all three of us were friends. So Mickey's calling them, setting up the appointments. Me and this other kid are taking a this is my favorite thing ever at work. We would get paid per item. So if you got back this one piece of equipment, it was $100. If you got back this other piece of equipment, it was $50. Mickey would call these people, line up, be home at 5:00. I'll have a guy come by and pick it up. You'd line up a list. He'd give it to us. Me and this kid would come out. We would go into the city. It was a big van, no seatbelt on the back. He would pull up, park. I would open the side door, run out, knock on the door, collect the equipment, dive in the back. Like we would run through, because it was in the shittier areas. Like you go to like Kensington area of the Philly and just be running up and down streets, pulling in equipment. We'd like talk to him at the end of the night. We'd like, we got 17 fucking units back, which means like Mickey's getting paid on his end. We're getting paid on our end. And we're like running this A-team style, just like going through Kensington. It was so much fucking fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like it got gross. Like some units you would get apnea monitors, which track a baby's heartbeat and will alert if the infant's heartbeat drops too low. It'll make a very loud sound. And we would get that machine back. The parents weren't using it. They weren't reporting or whatever. We'd have to get it back, or the kid was too old. And they'd be like covered in roaches and shit. So I would get suited up. Like I'd have my pants tucked into my boots. I'd have my shirt tucked into my gloves. I'd be coming with black bags and a mask and like bagging shit up, having them sign for it, like diving in the back, throwing it, and be like whipping through. It was so much fun.
Nice. So you guys had like a whole little hustle set up.
But inside the company, your hourly, all of this outside of that, just an extra cash hustle that
you're getting like an extra $1,000 sometimes.
I made more doing that than I did all week.
Oh,
and
wow.
they would pay us to like stay late. So
all of this,
I'd stay till 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Time and a half. They'd be out on the road. I'm like, boom, boom, boom. And it was just like, and this is what I mean. It's like automatically scheme brain, and it's all legal. And like, they loved it, of course. Or like, you guys are showing initiative, but we're like, oh shit, this is all you got to do is talk to that guy in that department. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
People are idiots, dude. Most of like the working force are pretty dumb. It's kind of wild, dude. If you think about it, like think about all the people you've worked with. You're like, how do you even get up in the morning, and like get here? Like, I don't even know how you get here, let alone like.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I've said it, like I worked in restaurants for years, and in my mind, I was like, I could never work in an office. I don't have a college degree. I could never do that. Right. Then I get an office job and I realize immediately how overly qualified 90% of the like workforce in a restaurant is to work in an office. Right. Like you don't need like, bro, there's like also too, like in an office, how many lazy fuckers have you met in an office?
Oh,
It's
99%.
oh my God. Some of them I'm like, what are you like this? You can't be paid to do this, right? Like, this is ridiculous, but it is what it is. What are you gonna do? So okay, so let's keep it moving. You have like you eventually would then work up work up the ranks at this place, and you would become a director of sales vice president, right? Or
No, that's the next company. So at this one, I got all the way up to like I was supervisor, and then they like made a department for me. So
okay.
like I started taking the asset recovery and like doing that, and then we incorporated like selling the supplies differently. You know, so like they made like a pet protection plan, right? Like a warranty.
Right. Okay.
And like I was like the Wayne Gretzky, you know, like it's like I sold 1 billion of them. Like, so I was just giving kind of cool, like little things to do, you know? And then, before you know it, like I was just, they were like, oh shit, sales is where we keep them.
Yeah.
And then I just crushed it.
All right. And
but everyone else, like you said, is a robot idiot. So it's like, you know.
Yeah. Well, you became like a director or manager in sales, right?
So then, you know, the owner of the company who like started it, he stepped away and made a new company, you know, and it was like a little different. So he asked me to come with him. I was like one of 3 people.
Okay.
And that's where I went on to, I was hired as the director. You know, we built this company up fucking 5-6 years. I ended up becoming the VP of the sales. And then Corona hit, COVID.
Okay. And the company just went kaboosh.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and this is what's kind of wild is like, you know, everything was working against us, you know, like we have to get people to the doctor's office. Like people weren't even allowed to go to the hospital, let alone like to the orthodontist, you know? So like I did everything I could do, you know, with telemedicine and everything, but working in healthcare is very difficult, especially when you have all these Medicare rules and you're set up to fail, you know, it's not really made for the patient, you know, which is kind of sucks to say, but so, I mean, we couldn't.
No, it's made to keep you sick. Chris Rock said it best. You don't get like they could come up with cures, right? But they're still pissed about the money they lost out on polio, right? Yeah. Like you get the money on the comeback, right? So they just keep you coming back. That's all it is. They don't cure you. They keep you sick. Yeah.
Wild. Yeah. And then fucking, you know, because we made mouth guards as opposed to like, you know, CPAP masks and sleep apnea machines. Yeah. And like our lab shut down in Texas. And, you know, Texas got hit hard, dude, at one point with the pandemic. You know, our lab was in Dallas, shut down. Dude, I found a foreign plug. I found like a Chinese connect. Like I set up this whole fucking thing. We had a new plug, new lab. And then fucking Trump out of nowhere starts a fucking trade war with China on steel butt fucks me, dude. That guy's such a jerk, dude. That guy is such a dickhead. Like, my God. But you know what I mean? Anyway, it's like, just because, you know, he affected me personally, like, he is sucking dick, dude.
Yeah. I mean, anyway. I have no political opinion whatsoever, and neither does the Working Perspectives podcast. But
Mickey Batts fucking does, dude. You know, fuck that guy for now.
That's fine. So
that's on me, dude. I'll take that.
Whatever you want to do. We just don't. Politics is just not a subject we cover on this show. Either way. So keep going. So the company goes under, right? Fucking China shits on your face. You're kind of screwed there. So you leave there. Is this when you go to get your real estate license?
This is when I have a mental breakdown.
Okay. Is Regina around at this point, or
at this point, I lost everything, dude. I went completely bananas. Nothing. You know, luckily I got a little bit of a severance. You know, with the PUA and shit, I was able to like live pretty comfortably. Okay. But it was, you know, it was wild. Like I fell off, son. You know, fall from grace. It was like a shock, dude. It sucked. So then, I had to call a therapist. I was being psycho, boy, punching stuff, being a total idiot. You know what I mean? Like freaking out at my girl, like, you know, screaming at the cat. Yeah. Just being like a wild boy, like a fucking jerk off, dude. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, you know, I need some help, dog. You know, I got this Medicaid that's pretty fucking popping. You know, I go to the doctor. He's like, yo, you want antidepressants? I'm like, sure. You know, for anxiety. I'm like, yeah, dude, you kidding me? I'm not. I love drugs. Like, you know, I'm not doing drugs right now, but I'm not. Come on.
Yeah.
I got on this program, dude. I fucking talked to this shrink for a minute, and now I'm normal. You know what I mean? And then through this whole time,
completely normal. I mean,
I'm
most normal.
At least I have confidence, and like I have my sense of humor back. So the pandemic was rough on me. I found comedy again. Justin and I started going to the fucking, the comedy clubs again, and
you just found like outlets for your trauma and for your your anxiety and stuff like that.
I faced it. Yeah. Like I finally looked it in the eye. I got some fucking work done on myself, and I came out better. At the same time, my brother bought like a, investment property. Yeah. So I've been banging a hammer for like 6 months.
How rewarding is that work?
Dude, it's amazing. Like it really is. Like it's made me a different person. I feel like fucking Joan of Arc or something.
Joan of Arc?
It's wild, dude.
I've seen this place, and then I seen the after effect, and I was like, you did all this shit? He's like, yeah, I can fix a cabinet. I'm like, you
fucking Bobby Vila over here.
Look at this guy.
No, we got I'm with you. We got get my daughter, we have to do she's going near the stairs a lot more now. So we have to get these gates, but we have the way the house is, the railings fucked up. So we had to get these special gates to hang up. So she it's a swinging door gate thing that, so she doesn't go up or down the stairs. You know what I mean? And I put them in today, and I'll tell you what, I feel like a fucking man right now because I figured it out. All right. I figured it the fuck out, and I had to Jimmy rig it a little bit, but I fucking did it. All right. And that's what men do. All right.
Really? Yeah. It was like my chucking oysters moment, I had this really nice office job, fucking the title. And then I go to picking up a hammer and waking up at, fucking 6 a.m. and going doing hard work, and it was cool.
Yeah, but
it was like a rehab. Yeah. It was like a rehab. I'm going to make a reality show. It's going to be about rehabilitation and fucking doing houses.
Honestly, I bet if you were a guy doing that kind of stuff, I bet you could do it. You could get free labor if you were just dude, when's the last time you fucking swung a hammer or put together a cabinet? Bro, dude, it was so much fun. It was so great. You want to come do it? We're doing it Saturday at this place. There's a school that does it, and just be get a contract to redo someone's kitchen. Fucking, there you go. You know what I mean?
A group of the public that hasn't gotten their fingers dirty in a long time.
Yeah.
I see Mickey covered in paint on his pants. I'm like, look at this guy.
Yeah, this guy's in the halfway house, dude. Yeah. Rehab to rehab. I'm telling you, that's going to be the pitch. It's going to be on TLC in 3 years. Just check it
out. Yeah. Nice. So, okay. So you right now you have your realtor's license. You're doing some renovating and things like that, and you're kind of just getting your feet back under you, and you're working on yourself a little bit, right?
Right, dude.
Good, man.
I'm happy again. You know what I mean? It was dark, dude. I'm in the fuck, dude. I did so much jaying in the pandemic. I almost ripped my own wiener off my body, dude. Dark, dude. I'm in my office. I called it the Jack Shack. All I'm doing, I'm jaying. I'm crying. I'm sad, dude. I'm hammering it, dude. I don't do that anymore.
Wait. What did you call your office?
The Jack Shack, son.
I fucking love it. All right. Man, how have I never thought of the Jack Shack?
Just going through so much tissues, just out of the eyes, out of the head.
You use tissues not just an old sock or something? Or Justin does the sink?
I do. I come in a paper towel every time. Or I come on something and then wipe it off. Yeah, I have a very strict beat off routine. It's by the book. I'm
and you have to be laying down. Is that right?
To come, yes, I do. Or I have to be at least pretty as horizontal as I can get. I'm trying to jay on the toilet and I'm doing the bend. Trying to
you're
just get it.
Almost doing the hot dog on the toilet.
Yeah, or it's if I wanted to jump into the pool and do the, what is it called? The needle? What's it called? The fucking
pencil.
The pencil, dude. I pencil it, dude. I point my toes and fucking.
You're penciling, so you're at you're like a surfboard leaning against the wall.
Clean 45.
Surfboard. Surfboard. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Nice. So, all right, dude, man. Awesome. Well, I'll tell you this, man. We're coming to the top of time. Justin, you and me are usually on the same page with this, but Mickey, we would love to have you back on the show if you'd be willing to come back on.
Oh, dude, I think this is so much fun. I appreciate you guys for having me. Sorry if some of this shit got a little dark, but this is what it is, dude. I try to make the best of it, try to make some jokes. You know what I mean?
It's only dark if you're a fucking pussy.
That's true, dude.
Yeah.
That's true.
No,
or if you're a gay wad, dude.
I have so many. If Mickey's story is a lake, we have just skimmed across the top of it.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, dude, no, this was honestly, this was a great fucking show. This was really, really good. Really ice cream, man. That's our whole gimmick, babe. Ice cream, right?
Appreciate that, dude.
We fucking hit every flavor of ice cream tonight. I'll tell you that. So.
Dude.
No, dude, loved having you on. It was great having you back. Before we get out of here, is there anything you want to say to the legions of the Mickey Bats faithful before we take off?
Keep your head up, fam. Check me out at the fucking Low Life podcast on YouTube, where we try to get to the bottom of the problem over there, dude. We do a lot of crying. We do a lot of complaining. A lot of fucking anti-commie stuff right now, dude. It's pretty lit, dude. Come over.
Nice, man. Nice. The Low Life podcast, we'll have a link for it in the description of this episode, so make sure you check it out. Nice. Very cool. Jalen Dub. Anything you want to say to the Jalen Dub lovers before we roll out of this biatch?
So I want to say shout out Mozambique, shout out my boy Mickey, shout out keeping your mic out of arm range.
Shout out Mozambique. Shout out not whacking your fucking mic. Shout out Mozambique. Fan of the show. Listen to the show.
Shout out trying to pull that thing off the front of you. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Dude, I can smash this thing in a fucking toilet. Smash the toilet seat on it, dude.
Sometimes
I'm adopted.
Yeah.
I'm adopted, dude.
You got to go to the Jack Shack. Sometimes you just got to go to the Jack Shack.
Hit me up, dude. Mickey drip drops. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I never can shoot it, dude. Later on.
Nice. So nice. Yep. Well, dude, I'll tell you, this has just been another great episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied today by JDub Justin Richardson, and our guest was the one and only Mickey Hadfield. You can find all our stuff and all our content at all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can hang out with us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast, and you can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. And just for the love of God, don't make me go to the Jack Shack. Just get her off my back and like and subscribe so my wife leaves me alone about doing the show. This has been the Working Perspectives podcast. Thanks for listening. Stick around for the ad read. Thanks. See you.
Do you have a message or a story inside of you that you've been waiting to tell? Have you always dreamed of writing a book but are intimidated by the complexities of the book publishing world? Perhaps you want to use a book to launch your public speaking or consulting career. If so, please reach out to Scott and Bell Publishing, located right here in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Scott and Bell Publishing handle all genres and authors with all experience levels. Scott & Bell Publishing gives authors 100% creative freedom and a higher royalty split. They can be found at www.skotbell.com. That's www.s as in Sam, K as in Kite, O as in October, T as in Tom, B as in Boy, E as in Edward, L as in Larry, L as in Larry.com. That's Scott and Bell Publishing, where the authors go.